So, welcome to Beauty of Colors podcast, Titus. It's great to have you on the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
You're very welcome. So, tell the listeners about you and what led you to gaming.
Well, I actually started when I was about 4 years old. My dad actually introduced me to it, and there was something about being able to play video games and utilize the skills that I had up here, where everywhere else in life, of course, at that time he was better than me just because he was older and wiser. But something about video games that allowed me to really be able to express myself and win against him. And whether or not he let me win or not, who knows? But it was something that I really enjoyed, and that kind of kept me going throughout my entire career.
Okay. So, you started as a kid and now you're still gaming.
Oh yeah. I still play video games. I don't have as much time as I used to with the business side of things, but I really enjoy it. I mean, even when I do have time, I'll play with my kids. I play with my friends. Like if I have even a little bit of time, it's great to just be able to hop on and enjoy gaming. And when my father, so I was about 8 years old. My father actually went to prison for something that he didn't do, but it was still something that they put him in prison for. But at that time I had a lot of siblings, so there's seven of us total, but we would have to find different ways to entertain ourselves because for a little while my mom and my dad were actually in jail. But
Mhm.
during that time, we would spend a lot of time trying to do that. And I was always the guy creating the games. So I would, we'd have, a stick and a trash can, and that's all we had. And but I'd find a way to create a game out of it. And I got really good at, creating the rules on the spot and making them fair and making it enjoyable for everyone.
Mhm.
And so that really kind of led me into almost like creating my own games, and I did it so much that I got really good at it. So once I got into this gaming world, it seemed only right to create something of my own.
Wow. So, if someone wants to get into gaming and someone wants to make it a career, what advice would you give them?
Well, I would say that, you know, if you want to get into anything, whether, gaming or not,
Mhm.
the biggest thing for me in my life that has worked is doing the research into what you're getting into.
Mhm.
Make sure you know the market, make sure you understand the market, and you understand what it is that people need in that market. Because if you're trying to create a business and there's no need for it, you're not going to do well. But if you find something that other people need, then you're going to be great. Like that's pretty much it. Like you find what people need and what they want and then build off of that. And so if you want a career in gaming, there's tons of them available. I mean, there's tons just because there's so many gaps that need to be filled in gaming because it's not new, but the industry is still very new, and so finding and filling those gaps is vital. So do the research. That's my one suggestion.
Okay. So, what is the Ultimate Gamers League? What is that? I know you have something coming up. What is it? What is it all about?
So the Ultimate Endgamers League is it's an esports platform where essentially we take all five competitive genres in gaming. So you have fighting games, sports games, shooting games, racing games, and strategy games. You put them all together to create this like UFC like approach to gaming, where you're trying to find out who's the best gamer as a whole, not just like an individual. Every esports league out there focuses on an individual title, so it'll be like the Call of Duty League or a Madden League. And what we did was instead combine it and say, hey, let's create a gamers league that's for gamers by gamers that figures out who's the best gamer. That's really it. And so we've been doing that. We're on our eighth season now, And this season is actually for $100,000. The finals is in June at the DeVos Theater in Michigan. And then we're ramping up for season 9, which is our biggest season yet. We haven't announced any information on that yet, but we will, and we're very excited to do so. And so yeah, season 8, DeVos Theater in Michigan. It seats about 2,500, I believe. So tickets will go. We'll do pre-sale on tickets, I believe, in the coming weeks. So you'll want to make sure you get tickets if they're still available. So
Okay. Is it only going to be, is it virtual as well, or is it just in Michigan?
all in person. Yeah, we
Okay.
actually compete in person. We have an arena in Stafford, Virginia,
Okay.
and we compete there every week. So every Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we're having matches.
So I think most people think that gamers just, sit around and play games, but there's more to it. I know there is. So kind of
Yeah.
enlighten the listeners about that.
Yeah, it's funny. That representation of gaming has been around since its invention. And I think that it follows pretty much any sport or any new thing that comes around. You know, when basketball was first created, it wasn't looked at as any type of career or any type of like serious, like, you know, job, right? So at that time, if people were outside playing with some rubber, on the pavement, shooting it into a little hoop, you'd be like, "What are you doing out there? Why don't you do something with your life?" And that is same in music and so all of these industries start out with that same idea or that same premise. And I
Mhm,
think gaming is no different. A lot of people don't understand that all gaming is problem solving. It's really it. You're spending your time solving problems utilizing a controller or a keyboard or mouse or a phone.
mhm,
But it's all problem solving. There's certain buttons that do certain things that solve issues, right? And
mhm,
so with every type of game, you have different types of problems to solve. In sports games, you're solving the sport, right? In
yeah,
fighting games, you're doing more patterns or understanding where the buttons are and mapping. And in shooting games, you have hand-eye coordination and what is your opponent doing and stuff like that. So every game has these problems,
mhm,
and the games that people spend most of their time playing actually tells us a lot about that person's skills because they gravitate to the
mhm,
skills that they already have and they play the games based on what those skills are. And so that's something that we found when combining all of the different types of games. We found that the people that are gravitating to certain types of games are normally similar people. And they can learn a lot from the people that gravitate to the games that are of the opposite skills. And so we're able to really combine those and make it more about the skills and make it more about the gamers themselves, which has really um, helped us become the success that we have been. I mean, um that stigma on gaming is something that everyone kind of sees or says right now, but I think eventually if we do right by the gamers, um people will really understand and see it like as that. They're not sitting down just pressing buttons. They're sitting down and they're problem solving. There's games now where you're learning to be, a doctor or I don't know if you know this, but I
yeah,
know this because we actually just hired one of our newest hires is a doctor in the Space Force, and she's helping us with um, our wellness program. But in the Space Force, most of it is all just video games.
mhm.
So they're learning how to fly in space. Most airlines are now teaching through flight. Race car drivers are learning through video games. It's all, a simulation or practice of the same concepts.
So with the Ultimate Gamers League, the tournament that's coming up actually that you do have coming up, you said in July or in
June 8th. Yep.
June the 8th. Is it only for people who have already mastered the games, or can somebody who's a newbie, can they register for it or?
Yeah. So every season it's open registration. It's free to join. So we don't charge the gamers at all, ever. And so it's free to join. But the only way you can compete in a season that's already going is if you get drafted onto a team.
Oh.
So it's like the NFL or NBA structure where you can register right now for season 9.
Mhm.
And I suggest you do. You can go to our website and register, but you can do that for free. But the only way to compete in season 8 right now is the players that already had gotten drafted or are under contract for teams. So once you register, then there's a draft that happens where
Mhm.
all of the players that have registered can get drafted by different teams. And we have a combine as well where you can show your skills and you can show your skills online. You can get in contact with the team owners. So there's a lot to it, but anyone can register and anyone can play.
Wow, sounds great. So what would you tell a young person who want to get into gaming, and where can the listeners get in touch with you, your website, and where can they register?
Sure. So if to the young people that or old people that want to play video games with whoever, you know, definitely check us out. It is worthwhile. It's a lot of fun. It's great competition. You really get to meet different types of people and learn from a lot of people.
Mhm.
And I think that is the key. The key to what we do is community, and so that's been probably the best part of everything. But if you're interested, you can get in contact with us at uelesports.com. That's uelesports.com. And you can register there. You can everything's there. All of our social media, same UEL Esports. And so you can get in contact with us. Let us know. um, if you have any questions, we're on Discord as well as all of the other social media. So
Wow. So do you have any last words for the listeners and doing the thing that you love and not paying attention to what other people would say to you and just going about and just, doing what you love?
yeah, I will say that it is not going to be easy. Doing what you love means that a lot of times people don't understand that your dream is yours. So it doesn't matter who you tell about your dream, whether they love you or not, they're not going to see it because it's yours.
Mhm.
And that has been probably the hardest part of my journey in understanding that as big of a family as I have, as many friends as I have, as popular as I was, none of that mattered when it came to my dream. It's still just mine. And
Mhm.
so I had to decide to live out that dream um, in spite of, not in spite of, but I can't think of another word, but despite what other people thought and how other people saw it. And that can be difficult at times because a lot of times we look for someone, especially the people we love, to build us up and to tell us that we're doing great and that we're doing a great thing. But it's the things that most people around you don't understand that are the most important for you to do. Because again, it's your dream. It's not meant for other people. It's given to you for a reason, and what you do with it is completely up to you. You will not be able to look God in the face at the end and blame others. Like it is all you. And so what you decide to do is again, it's up to you. So I'd say if you want to do it, if you feel it in your heart to do it, then do it. Like that is, you never know. You could be the next Michael Jordan of gaming, and you could decide not to do it because someone said that it was a bad idea or whatever. You just never know.
Nicely said, Titus. Well, thank you for being on Beauty of Colors podcast.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for listening to Beauty of Colors podcast. We hope you enjoyed the program, and for more information, be sure to visit www.cleannejohnson.com.